non-existent. The mode basically plays itself with 2 or more people.
Yo, you actually died in Vanguard Zombies? How do you die in this? It's so easy.
There are no bosses, no interesting challenges, special waves, and most of the time you don't even have to sprint or train zombies. You can just stand there. Look at how fucking fast you go with max stamina. Why is this necessary? No thought equals no strategy equals no fun. The only slice of challenge offered is perhaps the stupidest enemy type ever implemented in zombies. A giant guy with a machine gun? Excuse me? Why is this a thing? These guys turn the corner and shred your armor in an instant. It's not fun. The oversights in design are so basic, I'm surprised Treyarch even managed to include a scoreboard. Why is Pack-a-Punch available at the start? How come this game doesn't track any stats whatsoever for this mode? Given that Treyarch had to step in last year to develop Cold War when Sledgehammer dropped the ball, I imagine Activision had a chainsaw held at Treyarch's nutsack, and this is the result. To make gameplay even more boring, it takes fucking forever to amass any amount of meaningful points. 20 points per kill, 30 per headshot? But they kept the same prices for the mystery box at $9.50? Why does Pack-a-Punch cost $7,500? Oh, I know why. Because the game wants to force players into completing objectives. Treyarch wants you to play an extremely specific way and no other way. Like, there's no reason to try and save up points for Pack-a-Punch because the mystery box can give you a triple packed weapon for free. What? Hold up. What? Why do some enemies drop triple packed weapons for no fucking reason? Let's talk about the only map that's available, Daronfang, a Frankenstein monster stitched together from previous assets found in a 13-year-old game. Not to mention the multiplayer maps from Vanguard, so yeah, about half of the map is just reused assets. The locations are boring and uninspired. What bugs me is they keep blue-balling you by teleporting you to fun areas, and they're like, don't you wish you could play Shino Numa right now? Well, too bad, we're locking up 75% of it. Have fun in this tiny little enclosed area.
Apathy is death. Worse than death. Because at least a rotting corpse feeds the beasts and insects.
The entire map is just chunks, segments with no flow or interconnectivity. You want to talk story? Aside from one mildly impressive cutscene, it's just demon voices constantly talking over a radio.
You have the blackest heart.
I don't even get to hear the rest of the voice line.
Like, the dialogue is so bad.
Where did you find these fighters, Morticus? You do not deserve them.
Where did you find these fighters, Morticus? Ah, you should fight the Revenants and the...
You strike at my augmentors, you will find they strike back harder.
It's just nonsense. The dudes, like, they talk every time you look at something. Like, if you look at a perk machine, they'll be like, this is the perk of a true champion. It's like, shut the fuck up. I know what Juggernaut does.
Kill your red bloods, Morticus. Then feed you to my augmentors.
What? Every time you purchase something from the mystery box, they feel the need to chime in with their own, like, witty quips. Now, since you're playing Vanguard Zombies with the operators from multiplayer, your character feels completely disconnected from whatever is taking place. I'm surprised they even bothered to record unique zombie lines for these characters, you know? One thing I'll say about it is that I thought Arthur Kingsley's quips were entertaining.
Have to lean into these. They kick like the very devil himself.
The only other thing that's good about Vanguard Zombies is the main menu theme. At least the music guys weren't slacking. Okay, so back in January, Treyarch addressed fan outcry for a traditional zombies experience. And in an update, they did add a round-based mode, which is just going to 25% of Shino Numa and fighting there until you want to leave. Our expectations for you were low, but holy fuck. Zombies is pitifully boring, tedious, thoughtless, and offers the same feeling of smashing your testicles with a hammer. Nothing has been improved from any previous entry. The only thing that still exists is the core loop of shooting zombies, which has been downgraded immensely. Everything else has been cut. Vanguard Zombies is a complete waste of everyone's time, and there is nothing redeemable about it. So with zombies being an undeniable dumpster fire, does multiplayer at least do anything better?
No!
Our new dog model is taken from high-resolution scans of an actual SEAL Team service dog.
Unfortunately, Vanguard is little more than a reskin of a reskinned Call of Duty. Let's start with the operator system they keep shoving into Call of Duty. There is an impressive lack of personality and charm within the operators, announcers, and style of the game. This is the most generic World War II game you have ever played. Now, it kind of worked in Cold War because that campaign was amazing and the characters were awesome and likable, even if they swapped out certain voice actors. I mean, you had no reason to play as anybody but Russell Adler, so, but there was content for their inclusion in the multiplayer. The problem with Vanguard is they throw in a bunch of characters you've never seen or heard before. The ones from the campaign aren't that great, and you just sit there looking at the others like, well, who the fuck is that? Oh, watch a generic 1-minute scene to establish everything about them and their personality. Doesn't work like that. Call of Duty's art style has been obliterated by its uninspired design and overindulgence in microtransactions. It's an amalgamation of various trends copied from other successful IPs. Heroes that have nowhere near the personality of those in Overwatch. Cosmetic bundles from anime shows in a World War II game.
What the?
They're basically trying to turn Call of Duty into Fortnite with all these collaborations. Like, rather than pursue a crazy Wolfenstein-type setting and atmosphere that opens the door for wacky cosmetics, Sledgehammer plays it safe. Yet again. And just does World War II. Again. Let's talk about some of the cosmetic stuff. Of course, it wouldn't be a Sledgehammer game if this wasn't something we could all point at and laugh.
My fucking god, 3 grips that all look the same. They're 3 different rarities. What's the difference?
The cosmetics in COD Vanguard are worse than the pistol grips. I said it. They're doing the same cringy thing DICE did with 2042. They got these, oh my god, these embarrassing animations that look terrible. Like, hey, we're all shooting each other in World War II. We're having fun.
Well, that was fun.
What the fuck was that?
In a good game like Battlefield 1, the cosmetics all felt very subdued because if they weren't, it would just mess with the art style and look and feel of the game. You didn't have some flaming helmet guy running around because the focus was on immersion and atmosphere. You weren't playing Battlefield 1 because you were hyped about this samurai animation you paid $20 for. You played it because it was fun. In true apathetic fashion, Vanguard recycles its monetized content across all operators. Almost every single intro and finishing highlight animation is reused across all operators, blending them all together better than their bland personalities ever could. Shouldn't each character have their own cool, unique intro that makes them look different? No. That would require effort.
What do I look like, a guy who's not lazy?
Right, after you see 3 different characters do that pistol whack, once you see that 3 times in a row, it's like... You also can't quit during the end of match highlights, so you're forced to watch this crap. Even worse. Some of the animations are decent, if not passable, but others in the game are part of monetized bundles when they are literally unfinished. Oh, check out this one. You like the way he stabs a guy with a hammer? Yes, stabs a guy with a hammer. Stabs a guy with a hammer. Then you got this one where he's holding up a gun that's not there and he's like, ugh! And you could just easily Photoshop a dick into that. They even recycled the hammer stab for 6 different unlocks. Is the menu even finished? What is happening? What are these names? Why is part of the bundle left with this placeholder name and missing image? And you're not prepared for this one.
Time to bring the heavy stuff. Now we're tough.
Don't look right! Keep your eyes shut!
Her legs are backwards. She's an elite from Halo. What is she even doing? Where is the blood coming from? Why is this guy halfway off the screen? What is this demonic pose at the end? Bruh, they're selling stuff they didn't even finish programming. How does stuff like this get past quality assurance? Did they just take the whole year off? I like how there's voice lines for when you do certain actions in multiplayer, but it's just the same 2 options.
Don't ruin the moment.
Shh. Don't ruin the moment. Hey, remember when World War II happened and there was no other faction besides the British and a ragtag group of generic special operators all fighting in a playground for fun? Remember how World War II had no Germans, Japanese, Russians, French, Polish, or United States soldiers anywhere on the battlefield? You remember when my team fought the enemy team?
My team, enemy team. Those are the factions. Grandpa, can you tell me about your team? How you fought for your team in World War II? Yes, my team. Look at my glorious team. And the enemy team. We didn't know anything about them, just that they were the enemy.
In true apathetic fashion, Sledgehammer has removed all of the factions and flair of a World War II video game in their World War II video game. Part of what made Call of Duty cool was the different factions, even if it had no effect on gameplay. It was flair, it was context, right? You're playing as the Navy SEALs, or the Op 4, or maybe the Rangers, you know? Like, Rangers lead the way.
Mission accomplished. Good work.
You got that sick-ass music at the beginning.
Team deathmatch. Take no prisoners, comrades.
That's just some British guy who's like, "Oi, make sure you save some crumpets and tea for me after you shoot that guy's head off."
Team deathmatch. Subdue all threats. Use all your senses. Sight, sound, touch, smell, and gut.
Oh my god, that was...
I hate this guy. Nothing against the Brits, but why is there only one fucking announcer for the whole multiplayer? If you want to be so inclusive, maybe hire a Japanese voice actor to voice the Japanese faction.
Team deathmatch! Unite for the glory of Japan!
Oh, but we can't do that because we have to have these generic operators to sell skins and dumbass animations that aren't even finished and voice lines that suck. And none of this really falls in line with a specific country or group, so we'll just get rid of groups and factions entirely. Fuck you! Extra credits should not have gotten a W from their terrible video that was a joke to everyone, and you actually listened to them.
There you are, playing the PvP in your World War II shooter, and all of a sudden, you're a Nazi.
You see that little Empire of Japan flag? It's flair. I don't care if